and welcome to the Texas Real Estate Show. And today we're going to do 2024 predictions. My name's Steve Williams. I'm the host of the show, and we are going to try to predict, and then in 12 months time we're actually going to take a look at this video and see if we're right, wrong, indifferent, or we was really shooting up the wrong path. So please comment, please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment on what you think the real estate market's going to do. We are going to split up the real estate market into single family, into condominiums, into multifamily. We may add lots onto that, as that's a sort of, lots have actually improved in 2023 to purchase a lot. And I will give some examples of perhaps some of the things that have happened in 2023. First of all, we're going to start off with the rental market. The rental market in 2024, I see it doing nothing but increasing. I feel rents will probably increase anything between 6 and 15% across the market, whether it be an apartment, whether it be a single family home. We own and operate over 500 homes that we are property managers for, and basically we've seen an increase across the market in owners that want to increase their rent because of increases of insurance costs and property tax costs, basically between 6 and 15%. Obviously there's some that are outside that where they've actually increased them more, and the reason why, because perhaps they haven't increased their rental properties for maybe the last 3 years, but now they've decided to increase them because of the increase they've had through the two big increases for landlords with rental properties have been insurance rates and property taxes. Then the next thing I'm going to talk about is single family homes. If you want to buy yourself a single family home, now is the time to do it. At the moment there is less competition. The interest rates are a little bit higher than what they're going to be later on in 2024. It's predicted that there's going to be 3 cuts in the interest rates in 2024. With that, you're going to get an increase in competition for the houses. So basically, I would honestly, you've got more negotiating now with the higher interest rates. If you've got yourself a good agent, whatever you do, don't try to negotiate yourself because it's very difficult. You need somebody in between yourself and maybe to discuss another agent on what you can actually understand. I think it takes an agent to understand what else goes on in an agent's head during negotiation. But basically, the cost of housing, I think the cost of purchasing a single family home in 2024, in my opinion, will go up between maybe 12 and 16%. Now, some people will say, well, that's a little bit high. I'm expecting a flat year. That's not going to happen. And the reason why it's not going to happen, the data says that we are basically, we're short around 4.2 million homes to what people need in the United States. So we still have a shortage of homes on the market. Now, I want to separate between single family homes, and then I want to separate between new home builds. New home builds, when you buy a new home build, it's like buying a brand new car off the lot. As soon as you purchase that home, the value of that home will come down by maybe anything between $20,000 and $50,000. So it's very, very rare that when you purchase a new home, a brand new home from a new builder, it's going to take you normally 3 to 4 years to catch up with that increase. If we've only got an increase in the single family homes between maybe 12 and 16%, then it's maybe going to take 3 or 4 years for that, if you buy it from a new home builder, to catch it up. New home builders are very manipulative in the way that they do their appraisals. So in other words, if they've got a new subdivision opening, they will offer all incentives which basically adds to the price, but the actual value of the house, you need to take off the incentives to get to the true value of the house. They'll offer you incentives like lower finance rates. They'll offer you an upgraded kitchen package, upgraded AC package. They'll offer you many upgrades. So basically what's happening is all that is added on to the price of the house. And then as they sell more homes through the subdivision that they've built, they've got previous sales that they can use as an appraised value on them homes. So actually what happens is they're making a bigger profit to what it's costing them to what they're selling. So that's, as I said, be a little bit wary of new homes. New home builders, obviously, they're in there for the profit, so they're cutting corners. Always be wary of even single family homes. Be wary of people that it says they're renovated and they're basically flipping the homes. Be very wary of them. Whatever you do, if you're a buyer, I always say to all the buyers beware. Always make sure you have a licensed inspector inspect every house that you may purchase. Even if you're an investor, get a licensed inspector to inspect the home. They will basically, help you with making sure that everything is done to city permits and whether it's up to date, because code changes over the years for all the buildings. The second group we're going to talk about is condominiums. Now, condominiums traditionally have been the first rung on the ladder for single family purchases, and also first time investors, and also vacation homes. That's traditionally where condominiums have really found their niche. Over the years, what's basically happened is HOA fees are now going through the roof. I own a property and they've just raised the monthly assessment, and what they've also done is put in a yearly assessment, and it's actually added up to a 70% increase in the HOA fees of that property. Obviously, all the owners do not find it easy to get on with one another at the moment. Does the property need updating? Of course it does, because people don't like to spend the money, and so now they're trying to get their house in order, but it's at the expense of the owners that own the property now. When the HOA fees go up, the values go down. So, when you buy a condominium, what I'm going to say to you is I don't think you're going to see an increase in the value of condominiums over the next 12 months. I think the value of the condominiums are actually going to maybe flatten off. You may see a little increase in the price of anything up to maybe 6% in 2024. But to be perfectly honest, in condominiums, it's a good way into the market. But please understand that you have very little control on the HOA fees. Property taxes are pretty reasonable at the moment if it's a homestead. In Texas, if it's a homestead, they've just brought a law in to basically say that the taxes, they're trying to flatten the taxes off and make them not so expensive because they've gone up incredibly. Unfortunately, beware investors, buyer beware to investors. That rule will not apply for investment properties. Investment properties, they will push the taxes up and it's squeezing the investors. So we're making less money on investment properties, and also, but as I've said to everybody, if you're an investor, it's a double-edged sword. You're making money month to month, hopefully paying the mortgage and paying your expenses, and you're putting some of that money away for your property taxes and your insurance, and basically we call that the escrow. And then what's happening is at the end of the year, you pay that through. My property taxes at the end of the year are actually 6 figures. So this time of year is not a good time for me because it's 6 figures you've got to find, and you've got to pay by December 31st to stay up to date. So, please keep that in mind. You've got to put a certain amount away each month, and then of course you've got your repairs. If you have an emergency repair, sometimes you've got to dip into your escrow fund, to be perfectly honest, and so then you've got to replenish it later on, and you're crossing your fingers that you've got enough to do that by December 31st. The other element we're going to talk about, and the other department that we're going to talk about housing, is multifamily homes. Now I'm going to split that up again into duplexes and fourplexes, all right, because they are completely different than the larger multifamily of anything of 5 units and above. Duplexes and fourplexes, I believe that they are going to increase in value, and I believe the rents are going to increase just as much as I previously said. But I don't think they're going to increase as much as the single family rents. I think you're going to see the single family dwellings, their rents increase more than else. I think with condominiums, I don't think the rental increase is going to be as much, because there's not as much pressure apart from the HOA on the HOAs themselves. So the renters, I wouldn't be too worried, I guess, but your landlord can still push them up whether they want to or not if they're a little bit on the greedy side. But with multifamilies, I don't think you're going, on the rental side, I don't think you're going to see as much of an increase. At the most, I think it's an increase between 5 and maybe 10% on maybe a duplex. If you've got half of a duplex. Why? Because it's taxed as one, it's insured as one, so you've got 2 people splitting your costs. So hopefully if you've got yourself a good landlord that cares about you and cares about the property, and they're not a slumlord, and then basically that will help you in effect. If it's a fourplex, or if it's a threeplex or a fourplex, then the same applies. I don't think you're going to see the increases in them on a yearly basis. All the increases I'm talking about are on a yearly basis. I think you will probably see them increases anything between 5 and maybe 10% per unit. So that I think is important. Now, the larger units, we manage some of the larger units as well. I do think that you might see more of an increase on the rents for maybe something that's, say, 6 units and above. And I'll tell you why that is. There's a lot of insurance companies that are coming out of the market for insurance. They're coming out of the Texas market, and they don't want to insure the properties because of the history of roof damages, natural disasters, flooding and such like. A lot of the insurance on the multifamilies and duplexes even, and some of the fourplexes, some of the interest rates have gone up minimum 20 to 40% per year. So every investor that's out there, every homeowner that's out there needs to shop their insurance every year. You need to shop your insurance. You need to contest your property taxes every year. I use a company in Texas, and I'm going to give them a bit of a blast here. And I've used them for years. I've used them for 15 years on all my investment properties and all my clients' properties. And it's O'Connor and Associates, and it's called cutmytaxes.com. And you can register an account, and you go in there and you put your photos in on how you can appeal your taxes. You don't have to do nothing. You can sit at home, put your Netflix on, you can watch a movie, and they're doing all the work behind in the scenes. To be perfectly honest, as a property manager and a real estate investor, it is not worth my time. The only time it costs you to reduce my taxes is whatever they can reduce my taxes to, I have to pay them half of what they reduce the taxes to. Every year, I have them on automatic. They contest every single one of my taxes. Last year, they reduced one of my properties. They reduced the taxes that I was to pay by over $500. So I don't mind paying them $250 if they've saved me $500. That in itself is a deal, especially the way some of the properties are going. That helps me generate more money on a monthly basis. It gives me more cash flow. Cash flow is king as far as investments go. So for all the investors out there, you need to fight a little bit harder, be streetwise. And you know, it's interesting, when I first got into real estate, the first thing they said was, you've got to learn what the hustle is. And that's what real estate investing is, learning the hustle. Property taxes, insurance, you know, you've basically got to learn to shop it every year. And the other point that I'm going to make is, there's another type of housing out there that we're seeing more and more of, and that is mobile homes. Okay, that's a little bit, I don't think you're going to see any increase in the value of mobile homes because they're very difficult to finance. Some mobile homes, you can get financing to buy the home, but after that it's a cash deal. So I would not suggest to anybody to purchase a mobile home unless you really know. But you need to speak to a loan officer for that, for more information. It might not be totally correct what I'm telling you, and if I'm not correct, please let me know in the chat. But I'll be honest with you, I've always, as a real estate agent, I've always moved away from mobile homes. I've had people that have purchased lots and they want to put a mobile home on, and I've told them we work with lenders on site at our office, approved lenders, and we work with them and they advise them on that. And they give them all the advice to that, because I'm not a qualified lender, so I shouldn't be giving sort of any type of advice on that. And the last thing we're going to talk about is lots. Lots, last year, the cost of a lot has gone through the roof.
Card
and the reason why lots
card
have gone through the roof is if
by
you
adding
can
a
buy
button to your
lot
cards that
for a
automatically
decent
performs
amount
actions when you click it.
of
For
money
example,
that's a
it could be
competitive
things like
rate,
moving the
it
card to
will
the top
go
of
up,
a
because
list,
what a lot of
adding a
people
label,
are doing
or
now
archiving your card.
is
You
they
can
are
have multiple
buying
actions
lots,
as a result of a single
then
button.
what they're doing is
The first step
subdividing the
is
lot.
to pick an icon and
Now,
give it a
for
title.
each
I like the
subdivision you
thumbs
do
up
on a
icon,
lot,
and for the title,
to do
let's just
that,
use done.
so you can what they call replat it, will cost you anything between $5,000 and $10,000 to replat each lot. And then what they're doing is building houses on them lots. So basically they're building new homes. And basically we work with a couple of developers, we work with a couple of investors, and we've helped them purchase large properties. We had one investor at the start of the year that we helped purchase 60 acres. And it was pretty much next to a brand new school. And he's done very, very well this year. And he did all the calculations. Do you know what he decided to do? Sell each lot. So he hasn't got to worry about building the houses. He's got to worry about, you know, the actual utilities to the street. It's in a public utility district. So basically a mod, sorry. And then basically the city's already done that. So he's decided just to sell the lot, take his profit and move on. And that's basically what he's done. So lots are a good thing if you can get them in the right area. There's a lot of central areas where lots are really a premium. The last month or so, we've been just to let everybody know, we've been very, very busy in December. Loan applications are up. We've had people coming in that are saying that they are looking at selling their home. We've already got some sellers already lined up for the new year that are looking to sell their homes. We've explained to them that the market, is going to get more competitive next year. Why? Because the interest rates are going to come down. We will see. They've already said they reckon there will be 3 reductions in the interest rate. Each reduction you have, there will be more competition to buy your home. So, you know, we've bought some homes, remodeled some homes in December. We've currently got 2 homes that we've remodeled in December. We're getting them ready to hit the market maybe mid-January. We will be releasing a video and basically walking through the home and let you know what you've put in, so you can even comment on the job that you think we've done. We've used a great contractor. So, you know, that's basically it. Please let me know what you think of the 2024 predictions for the housing market. It is not doom and gloom at 2024. I do think you are going to see an increase in the housing market in 2024. You can make a comment in the chat whether you think that's a good thing, whether it's a bad thing. The only thing I'm disappointed with in the housing market is there's a lot of corporations out there that are purchasing homes in different areas, and they are corporations that are purchasing homes, and I just wish that it was owner occupants purchasing the homes, and letting the younger generation purchasing homes, because I think that would make it better for the areas, stronger areas, and I think it would be just better for our economy in general. But anyway, that's it for this edition. I want to say peace. I want to say I hope you have a great new year. Please do not burn yourself letting off all them fireworks. Even now where we are, they're letting off all the fireworks and it's driving me nuts. And I've got 4 old English sheepdogs where we live on a pretty big sized lot, and it drives them nuts. They don't want to go outside. But anyway, so have a happy new year, have a safe new year. I hope you have a healthy new year. Please be careful. COVID is out there regardless what they say. I had somebody called me up this morning, one of my owners, who said that he's unfortunately gone down with COVID. Not a great time to go down with COVID over the new year. So please, please, please be careful, take care, peace to all, happy new year, and as I've always said, ta-ta for now. It's an English expression, so ta-ta for now, and y'all, Texas.